I'm Gary Lyon and welcome to Access All Areas. The long Easter weekend was completed yesterday with the Hawks suffering yet another demoralising loss to the undefeated Cats. It's hello to Matty Lloyd and to Damien Barrett. 86 points, Hawks in unfamiliar territory at the base of the AFL ladder.
2 weeks straight, Gary and Damo, 86-point losses. You wanted to see their response after that Gold Coast shellacking, but we saw the same yesterday. 4 flags in 8 years have been amazing, but the fall off the cliff has been so sudden, Damo, and so drastic. What's
your news antenna telling you, Damo? We can dissect and analyse the on-field performance, for the rest of the week, and everyone has. But what's your news antenna telling you right now?
Oh, this is just not a happy place, and I think also too.
What? Because they're losing?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Alistair Clarkson did not plan for this to happen. He didn't change the captaincy from Luke Hodge to Jared Roughhead. He didn't make those recruiting decisions thinking they were going to fall off. But I reckon without us realising, it's actually crept up on us. This is now a team that has only won 2 of its past 10 games. You go back to around 19 last year, guys. They lost 6 games from that moment.
And the ones they won, they snuck in by less than 8
goals.
to 10 points.
Yep.
Those close games that they kept winning, which may have flattered the performance last year.
So 2 of the past 10 since that point in time. And just getting back to your question with the news, and Alistair Clarkson contracted till the end of 2019. I don't feel he's going anywhere, but it's not a happy place, and it's not by way of the plan, clearly.
No. Well, you're not happy when you're not winning, Lordo, but surely you take the good with the bad. I mean, the good's been so high at Hawthorn that now you find out about people in times like this. You've got to dig deep, players particularly on field who have enjoyed this great ride. Now they've got to find out about them, and off field how tough they stick.
I thought their best 2 players yesterday were Luke Hodge and Sean Burgoyne, and they're two elder statesmen. And I look at players who still should be in the prime of their careers, and they are Cyril Rioli, guys like Luke Bruce, Jack Gunston. So now their legacy over the next 5 years is going to be how good are you going to be without champions around you, and that's their big challenge for the rest of this season.
And what about their opposition, the Geelong Footy Club? The reliance, or so-called reliance, on Dangerfield and Selwood has been pronounced. There were some new faces in the mix yesterday.
They've regenerated really smartly, Geelong. They made some tough calls. It was obviously Stevie Johnson. You've got
Tui coming into the side.
Paul Chapman, those guys. Yeah, these are some of the guys that came in. Look, the Tui's run is exactly what Geelong need. They're lucky they didn't get Delidio, because I think Tui provides them with what they need. Parsons was brilliant yesterday. Parfitt, pick 26. He looks a real steal. And then you've got Motlop, who just destroyed the Hawks yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Look, do you subscribe to what Chris Scott has been saying about this team being a better one in round 19, 20, 21 this year than what we're seeing now, which is a fair call given they are 4 and zip? I mean, what he's saying is that they're going to learn and grow together. But do you subscribe to that, or do you think what we're seeing is pretty much what we're going to get?
I think he's pretty smart, bang on the money. There's better sides out there than Geelong at the moment. I think they've played patchy football, haven't they?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I watched them closely the week before against Melbourne. Thought they were lucky.
You'd think one of those players you just mentioned, Lordo, Parsons, would be missing a week, I would have thought, for the hit on Luke Hodge, which it's just unnecessary. And while Hodge got straight up, which is what Hodge does, the fact that the elbow goes away from the contest and gets him. Very next time they come together, Parsons has a chance to take possession and Hodge is looming, guys. Look, he's going to cop it, I think, from his own coach for dropping that ball, but I think it's probably physically the smart thing to have done. He would have copped it.
No. Physically, yes. Reputationally, if that is such a word, no. And if you give it and hand it out, we've all made mistakes and paid the penalty, and he will, the young fella. That was almost the next play. The ball comes. Hodgie had him in his crosshairs, like Hodgie would. And I don't know if he realised that, but he did take his eyes off. And I'm not saying he absolutely panicked, but you just got to take that and cop whatever comes your way.
Do you think he knew Hodge was coming in?
He may have sensed him. I'm not sure if he knew exactly, but he would have sensed him.
Hey, 4 games in, Giants and Crows, they appear, again, on the small body of work we've got to deal with, to be the 2 teams, don't they?
No doubt about that. And the Adelaide Crows actually pants them in round 1, so it just shows how well they're going. I think the Giants will be better for that experience. Obviously, not many teams will win in Adelaide this year, but I think it's their ability to run 2 ways, which a lot of teams aren't running 2 ways, and also hit targets. I just think the Hawthorn couldn't hit a target, and the Giants and Adelaide use the ball better than the other side.
Go and ask Nathan Buckley what the importance of players that can play forward. Natural forwards. They go down in the forward half of the ground, they've got a natural ability to kick goals. The Crows are blessed with some of the best and most natural, and Betts and Walker and Lynch and these sorts of guys, but GWS are pretty well served as well, so they're worth their weight in gold. Hey, Damo, update us if you would on Harley Bennell. Troubled young star. Matty, you've had some dealings with him through the AIS. Super talent when he can get on the park, but I mean, have we seen the last of him?
I think we now have to figure this into as a strong possibility, Gaz. Hadn't been seen since late 2015, and a calf issue the whole way through, Lordo. We now know that we had 12 weeks to this very point, round 4 2017. Add 12 more before he gets back to potentially play a waffle game of footy. That's Ross Lyon's words. He'd gone off the alcohol, Gaz, for at least 6 weeks, and that was an arrangement he'd had with Ross Lyon, who does remain close to him and will, as far as I read it right now, allow Harley to honour the contract he's got, which goes into 2018. But I think right now it's 50-50 at best if he plays again.
And I've asked whether or not this is the worst calf injury in footy, but Matty, I mean, it is clearly something that he can't get right. Your understanding is he got close, but they just keeps popping him.
They were really pleased with what he was doing. They actually trained him on his own for a long period of time just to give him that one-on-one attention that he needs, but he keeps blowing them, and once you do one, the first one's 4 weeks, the next one's 8 weeks, and he just keeps doing it.
It's a worry though, isn't it? 'Cause it's not that difficult to be able to give yourself and present yourself in a condition to allow airline staff to allow you to take that flight. I mean, there's something seriously wrong with someone who gets himself in that condition under those circumstances when he's given leave by the footy club.
And that's a concern, given they has had some history. But also credit to the Fremantle Footy Club, have found a way to beat the reigning premiers, and then Melbourne on the MCG. If you're a Melbourne supporter, Jack Viney kicked the winning goal. Look at the time, a minute 48. There is no way that you sat back and started smoking the pipe, and this was the result. Why Jack Frost attempted to go over the back is one question, but the other one is when you slow this down and ask, where are the Melbourne defenders? With 1:45 on the clock, they're 5 points up, 5 on 3.
Neville Jetta is charging back. He's in the centre of the ground when he should be back on one of his opponents. So, again, the lack of know-how late in the game, Gaz, that continually costs his side from being where they want to be.
OK, we were told that the reason they weren't as good last year was because of the defensive mechanisms of Paul Roos. And we're also told that when Goody gets there, it's going to be all changed around. Are we actually now missing, from a Melbourne perspective, what Paul Roos brought to this footy club, the defensive side of it? He would have had 20 blokes back, wouldn't he? 18 blokes back.
Yeah. I'd ask about on-field leadership in that instance as well. Irrespective of who's in the coaching box. That looked like they just went into a full press again. Once the ball went out of their 50, all the defenders pushed up the press, and that's not the time to press. That was an instinctive thing to do. So that's why they got away. Well done to the Dockers, found a way to win 2 games. What about the Magpies? They're always a story, whether they're winning or losing, but right now they're doing a lot right.
Well, are they doing a lot right?
Although their effort fluctuated from week to week, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they've had a 1-point win against a team which is yet to win a game.
Well, a lot in terms of the context of getting a midfield that's competitive and able to give them an opportunity to score, but they can't score. But it's deeper than that, perhaps, Lord.
It is.
I want to ask you this. Yeah. If I'm putting you in charge of the forward line at Collingwood, I'm saying, listen, I'll uphold our end of the bargain and get the footy in. You sort the rest of it out.
Yeah, I think we were having a good chat before, and I think they need to revert back to the days of, say, Terry Wallace, Rodney Eade, where they realise they haven't got a Tom Lynch standing in the goal square. They need to start lowering their eyes and playing this manic game where they just go with small forwards. So I think for Solo, Jamie Elliott, Will Hoskin-Elliott and Darcy Moore should be a dangerous forward line. It should be much more dangerous than it is at the moment. Darcy Moore, to me, is a third forward. He'll never be a number one. He's an outside...
Never, even with progress?
No, never will be. Okay. He's a Jack Gunston to me, where Jack Gunston was never, ever going to be the third forward. We look at Jack now. He's struggling without good players around him. So I just think he has to manufacture this dangerous, lively forward line, which isn't playing that way.
But he doesn't coach that way, Lordy, does he? I mean, this is now his 6th year. He's 4 grounds into this ultimate season for him, and it's not shaping the right way. And I don't see enough about Buckley to change it up right now. He's going to back whatever he believes to be the right thing, which is not working.
It's more about the forwards, to me. It's about I think there's no connection at all across the ground from this team. They've got effort, but effort only takes you so
No connection
far.
from the midfield to the forward.
The whole ground. Defence, midfield, forward.
That's a pretty damning statement.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's his 6th season. They haven't got it.
It'll be on display Anzac Day. Mason Cox, they played last year with some degree of success. It'll be interesting to see how they go about it. Hey, Tom Lynch is someone they'd kill for, basically. He's exactly what they need. This is selfless and smart. Ball goes out of bounds on the full. Straight away, recognises left foot up, Matera, points to Matera. Is that giving him too much credit, or is he... I think Matera would have got the free kick anyway, but I reckon Tom Lynch did identify...
I'd give him the credit on that, Gaz. He was phenomenal the other night. with goal kicking has been horrendous. He went back 7 times, bang, 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 and just nailed them and game over.
Well, when you talk about money and what you want to pay players, the goal kicking horrors that have besieged so many teams this year, give another 100,000 to a bloke that actually can kick straight, Damo.
It's worth that much more, you reckon?
Of course it is. Of course, that's the difference between winning and losing.
Yep.
What about the Blues?
We'll move on to the Bombers because the Bombers, Lloydie, and I think John Worsfold introduced this publicly in a way that I think surprised some of us, saying they've hit the wall. Now, whether he was referring to just the overall collective or the band Bombers per se, and I took a bit into it that it was the band Bombers he was referring to, Gaz. And outside of Collier, I'm not sure those band Bombers are actually having the impact that they felt this soon into this season.
Yeah, I think Hooker, Hurley's been disappointing for mine. I don't think he's playing with the vigour you'd hope for. Hooker, I'll give another week or two. He didn't have a pre-season. Carlton in the wet. Daniel Taylor in Adelaide. They're 2 tough weeks. So I think Collingwood on Anzac Day, you might see a more vibrant Essendon. They should run Collingwood off their feet. Right. So I think we watch this space for Anzac Day in 7 or 8 days' time.
I've heard you talk about this. The fact that it was introduced publicly by John Worsfold to the table, is it a worry?
Well, round 4 I thought it was strange. I would have probably been more accepting if it was round 6 or 18. And the only thing is it can sometimes give excuse to players that perhaps it hadn't even entered their mind that they might hit a wall. Hey, about respect within the industry and the game from a playing point of view. I reckon Heath Shaw has it, largely because he plays on the edge. I don't reckon this is one in many respects. That one, he's getting in the face of the opponent of Big Johnny Patton. Score's still relatively close. This one, the game's about shot. Tom Cleary's on his back. This is just, watch Hamish Hartlett here. That sort of stuff there.
It's unnecessary, guys.
Doesn't win you any respect at all. And whether or not Heath cares about that, I don't know. But I don't mind him gobbing off, and I don't mind him being in people's faces. But I mean, pick your moment. And the player's on his back.
Well, where are the GWS players telling him to calm down? I suppose Nick Maxwell comes in there as in his capacity as runner.
What, interviewed him?
No, he had his runner's hat on that occasion, Gaz. Not the bamboo riding mic, but it's not. It's not classy, Woody.
It's not. I think every team needs some of that in them. But so I think a young key defender like that, I'm not sure what you get out of sledging him like that.
No, you can sledge. We've all done it. But I mean, not then. I just don't think that won any respect.
And it was carrying on like that saw him clash with Nick Maxwell in his very last game for Collingwood back in 2013. And here we are, 4 years on, and Nick Maxwell's still trying to calm him down at his new club. There comes a time when you've just got to stop it.
Yeah. Third man up's going to get reviewed in a couple of weeks' time. I don't know what's going to happen, but the confusion range. I want you to have a listen to this, sound up, and then we'll dissect it.
Kangaroos, knees up, tight, you're up. Thank you. Andrew, he's no, Marcus.
Oh, Bulldogs free. He's nominated. He nominated. He's afterwards.
How are we supposed to know if they're both calling it?
He'd already nominated well and truly. Mark's here.
It's a very good question that Todd Goldstein asked. How am I supposed to know if they're both nominated? And so Andrew, he's no Marcus. That's not real clear construction. And it appeared to me that Andrew sidled up and said, I'll go up. Yeah. And then Marcus put his hand up and said, I'll go up. And poor old Goldie's sitting there looking, and Andrew swallows thinking, I don't know.
But it was the right decision. The AFL told us it was.
Marcus Montepelli had his hand up any higher, it would have touched the roof.
It's an absolute mess, isn't it?
I think it's a mess, and I made this point yesterday. I think every club has 10 coaches, 11 coaches. So there's 180 coaches around the competition who could sit back 24/7, devise ways of getting around this, and they're way ahead of the rules of the game.
I don't think they've scratched the surface as to the loopholes involved in this, guys. You'd have 4 players running away from the contest and waiting for the gun. Well, it won't go because that would be an admission they got it wrong to introduce it.
What more evidence do you know?
I think what they'll do is what they did from the Saturday morning onwards, and that is effectively get the umpires to nominate the 2 ruckmen, which goes, I mean, where's that in the rules? You have to do that.
That's going to be ponderous. We spoke about Hooker and his struggle at the moment. We've also seen Harry Taylor battle, although he was better on the weekend. Some blokes can do it, and this guy, Jeremy McGovern, could. I mean, Jack Darling out, McGovern goes forward. He can play forward. He gets to the right spots, he reads it better, he times it better. You know what I mean? Sometimes you look at a bloke and just go, yeah, there's no problem there.
Adam Sims has been desperate to get him up there, hasn't he? He's
found
a way.
I've got no problem in the world. He would be 35, 45 goals a year.
Right, but now some guys struggle. I know you and I are forwards, but some guys struggle as the number 1 forward. I'm not sure if Jeremy McGovern from round 1 to season 22 would be a gun forward. So I think playing him as the swing man is perfect.
Okay. All right, we'll watch that one with great interest. Time now for a very popular segment here, the lift hard-hitting moments. I'll go first. This one had an impact on the game. Very early on in the piece, first quarter, it was the big tank, Shannon Hearn running into Buddy, became a corky on his right quad, and he struggled from that point on.
And I'll go next, Gaz. I love this from Nate Fife. I've seen it so many times before, but it's Nick Rivold the way he goes back there and then does it again in probably not as dramatic a fashion, but equally as courageous.
Yeah, one of the influential players, Fife, in that second half. And gee, goal umpires have come a long way since the black and white days when they used to roll around like needing an ambulance. What about this one? Daniel McStay has smashed the goal umpire there. Look at the courage there. Bang. And he's just got straight back up and did his job.
Damo had the temerity to ask, what's that goal umpire doing there?
You need an awareness, Gary,
I
as a player.
He's doing
You
his
need
job,
an awareness as a goal umpire. Get out of the way.
It could be any brighter. He's in the green fluoro where he's supposed to be. Hey, well done, boys. Thanks for that. We will be back on Access All Areas on our normal day. It's next week. It's on Monday. We'll see you then, and goodbye.